What is going on, y'all? Happy weekend. This is Down South 77, and you are watching Three Star Draw. This is an adult collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe related things, G.I. Joe classified, and lately we've been talking about all kind of other stuff too, because we ain't got no classified. But we're about to. Airborne is showing up at the CMD store in Canada, and you know what that means? He's going to be here in about 2 weeks. That is what happened to me when I ordered Mutt and Junkyard. I got them early because I wanted to get a review done on them. And the day they showed up from CMD store, I got the Amazon shipping notice. I was so happy I didn't even think about canceling them yet. I didn't want to do it till I had them in hand. So anyway, I've decided to broaden my horizons and kind of collect some other things and some other lines I like, and it is going to be so random as you're getting ready to see. You know, Joe's are my thing. Always going to be my thing. But I do want to get some other stuff that I like that I've kind of shelved or kind of passed on. And that's kind of what I've been doing lately. There's a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to pick up, but only if I find it at clearance. You know, we've been scoring with the Rosses, the Ollies, all the places like that. I think that's going to dry up this year, personally. It might not be till the middle of the year, but my thoughts is that's going to dry up. So I'm trying to hit up these places while I can. I'm trying to hunt down some Masterverse, some stuff like that, random stuff. So I posted the video the other day about Walmart, and everybody needs to be checking their Walmarts because they're getting ready to do their toy reset. So I went back in another Walmart and in the same direction, but it's a lot closer to me. It's still not one I go by a lot. And they had Moss Man on clearance for 22.50. Now the store I got him at, he was 19, but even at 22.50, I think that's a good deal. So I've still got him. He's still chilling over here. I am gonna open him and do a review on him. I got some stuff I gotta get videos on. But anyway, back to today and kind of what I've been doing. Uh, the next day after that at work, I was in yet another strange city that I don't work in a whole lot, and I had time, and it was my lunchtime. Like, well, I never hit this city either. Let me see. I know I passed an Ollie's. They had an Ollie's, so I'm like, all right, there's an Ollie's, and I know there's a bit of Walmart. Now, this is a big city, and it is a very collector heavy city, so I wasn't expecting to find anything. So when I turned around, I got through with my work on that end. I was driving to the other end, and it was lunchtime. I was like, all right, I timed that right. I'm going to hit a couple of these stores. I was driving looking for the Ollies, and what did I see that I missed when I went the other direction? I saw a sign for a dirt cheap. Now, I mean, I've heard of dirt cheap. We do have them here, but they're few and far between. There's actually one in a city that I do work in. It's not on a road that I go down. So I may try to stop in there when I can. I don't know. I've never been in them. I didn't know what they were about. So I'm like, well, cool. Let's stop in dirt cheap. I'll check it out. Why not? I know people have found stuff in there. I've seen it online. I pull in, I go in dirt cheap, and it's kind of it ain't in a great area, but I mean it's not it's kind of sketchy. Let's just leave it that way. So I go in dirt cheap, and like they got light bulbs out and shit everywhere, and like I'm gonna get stabbed looking around in here. Where are the toys at? So I found the toys, and I went back and I'm looking around, and I when you're going to the toy aisle, especially if you're somewhere that has low shelves or racks or whatever, and you're looking over and you can see the stuff on the aisles, and it's like, oh, there it is, and you get that feeling like, oh man, what's there? I saw it, and I get back there, and I'm looking at it, and they actually have some decent looking stuff, but I'm like, man, I don't see anything that looks like a Joe box. And then I did. I was like, no way that is here today, the day after I picked up the other stuff. Like, no way I found that. So once again, I'm gonna show you something that you may not like. I know some of you ain't gonna like it, but After what you saw me pick up, this was what I saw: the Reaction Python Patrol Cobra Commander. Now, I just got the other Cobra Commander on clearance at Walmart for $9. I love these Python reactions. I don't love them for 20 damn dollars. Yeah, I mean, but look at the card and the colors, man. You know, Python Patrol's really the only subgroup that I like. So I'm looking, I have already taken the sticker off of this one. And I'm looking, and their pricing is weird. Like, they had a regular tag, they got a price on the back that's got the regular price, and then they've got signs posted where it's like, you know, if regular price was this, now it's this. And according to that sign, it was $8. Now, if I just paid $9 for regular Cobra Commander, and I love this one, and there's no way I was gonna spend 20 for it, you better believe I picked this up for $8. I'm like, well, man, there's a little bit of gold there. Let me keep digging. And it was this side and this side on their toys. And I started looking, and they had some pretty decent stuff if you were going in there, but their prices were not what I was expecting. They're not dirt cheap. They're like kind of dingy cheap. And so I'm looking around, and I see another Joe tag, and I find Python Baroness in the reaction. I've taken this sticker off too. So, and these cards are actually pretty good. And I love that. Like, say what you want about reaction, but that's a badass looking figure. And for $8, so I grabbed him or her, and I'm looking around like, well, what else we got? There got to be more. Come on, now you starting to feel like, you know, you waiting on that fix, and looking around like, oh snap, they got Destro too, Python Destro. Y'all say what you want. I want that in classified. You know, on the classifieds that Prophet Director Destro is my favorite. And look, they actually give us vac metallized look. It's not exactly that, but it's that shiny. It's shinier than the other stuff. So they got him. I wish I looked for the others because I don't keep up with a reaction. I don't know what's released together. I'd have loved to found the trooper and the bat also, especially the bat. I'd have got them all. But I mean, these cards, when you put them up together, the art on them, I mean, they just look great. I still might open them. I don't know. I don't want to ruin the cards, but man, I do like them. So I go in there. That was all they had. Didn't get anything else in there. That was it. And what was funny was this Destro card. You can see that nick on it right there. These cards are in way better shape than I was expecting for that store because it looked like somebody just sliced the case open and dumped them in the shelf, and then somebody else come along and grabbed four of them and tossed them on the shelf somewhere else. That's what it looked like. I was amazed at how good these cards looked for a dirt cheap store. But I got up to the register, and I wasn't sure about the pricing, and I was like, well, how, I need to find out how much these are. I think, I looked at the sign. I don't know if that's right. And she scanned it, and it was $8, like 8.20 or something. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get them. And she started ringing them up, and she goes, all right, there's a nick in the card here. I said, yeah, I saw it. And she goes, okay, because, a lot of collectors don't want the nick in that card. They want the card perfect. I was like, man, don't she know the game? I bet she sees people in here every day, and nobody wants reactions but me. And I said, yeah, I said, I know. I was like, depending on what it is, I want good cards too. But I said, for these, for $8, and I told her straight up, I was like, I've been looking at these figures since they come out, and I like them, but they're not worth $20, but they're worth 8, and I may open them anyway. She was like, okay. And she was talking about she collects Pokemon, and I don't know anything about Pokemon cards. So she was telling me about Pokemon, so I know that she is she wants good cards, so she knows the game. So I went in there, And I went in that Ollie's, and strangely enough, I went back out and was like, all right, now let's find Ollie's. And it was next door. There was like a divider road, like here's dirt cheap, dingy cheap, and here's Ollie. And I just crossed the little road. Ollie's didn't have anything in there at all. So that was disappointing. So on the way home, my drive home from where I was it was 2 hours. And I went through another city. I went in that Walmart. That's the one that had Moss Man for 22.50. They had not taken as much clearance yet as the one that I got the other stuff in that I did the last video on. So today I had to go out. I had to help my dad this morning. I had to go to the grocery store, and I needed to get a couple things from Lowe's. So it's like, well, I'm just gonna go do a little toy run because where I'm going to, I know there's a Ross over there. I don't remember what else is over there, but I was mainly going to Lowe's, not for toys, and I was like, I'll hit Ross and I'll hit Target because they're in the same little shopping center. So I was going through, and there's a Five Below. So Five Below's got Masterverse right now. So I went in Five Below, and they didn't have anything other than one awesome shirt I wanted, but I don't even know if that store sells a 2X. That's what I got to squeeze into now. Struggle's real. You're gonna see why in a minute. Um. So anyway, I didn't get anything at Five Below. Went in Ross, and if you've ever been in a Ross on a Saturday, plan half your day to wait in line. So you got to find something great in Ross to actually stand in line and buy the shit. And I was hoping to find some of them bats. That's what I want because y'all, you can see right there. I like my bats. It's the only thing I really army build. I try to get two of all the troopers and a bunch of bats. So if they got bats, I'm gonna look like a dick because I'm buying them all at $5 or $6 or whatever. But I'm actually gonna use them. So if I find them, but I didn't find them. They didn't have anything. They did have. They had battle armor He-Man. I don't know. I don't even know which line it is. The classics line, um, with the bigger card, like the same one Clamp Champs on, and he was like $4.99 or $5.99. And they also had the Hordak, and it was like evil saw blade Hordak or something. And I've never had a Hordak figure. I was kind of getting out of He-Man completely when Hordak come out, and I wanted him, but you couldn't find Hordak here. I didn't know. I knew one person that had Hordak. I couldn't find him, so I've never had a Hordak figure. So I was gonna buy him, and I had him in my hand, and they had battle armor Skeletor. I'm like, well, I'm gonna get them all. Why wouldn't I get them all at this price? Especially because I need a better Skeletor than the one that I've got. And of course, I got Skelegod, which still haven't opened yet. Um, but I grabbed them and I started walking toward the front. And man, that line was halfway back through the clothes. Like, I mean, seriously. Like, there's no way. I'm sorry, I gotta leave y'all here. Hopefully, I'll find you again, but I can't. I ain't waiting in this line. I still gotta go to the grocery store and Target. So I put them back. Oh, and I went to Target and was going through Target, and they actually had Mutton Junkyard. It's the first time I've seen them here, and they had the Python Bubble, and they didn't have any more Joes. That was it on Joes. They didn't have anything really good in the collector section. They had one thing, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. Um, Not as much of a sale at Target right now as I was hoping for on stuff. It's funny, like Target they flip flop. Now Walmart's got all the sales, and Target is not really putting stuff on clearance. But I think Target is already finished with their spring reset too. Anyway, so I'm looking around, and the first thing I see, I was like, oh my God, I did not know they made this, but I am 100% buying it. This is the, the WWE, the Elite collection, the Rowdy Roddy Piper from They Live, where he's John Nada. I had no idea this even existed. I did not know this was a thing. I don't keep up with wrestling. Far as I'm concerned, wrestling ended when WWF became WWE, but Piper has always been my favorite, and we just did They Live on Punk with Toys. Just did a whole, you know, discussion on that movie, and of course I was part of that. Love that movie, although I hadn't seen it for a long time. Uh, so I had to pick this up because I didn't even know they made this. I don't keep up with what comes out in wrestling. If I see something that I like older stuff, like some of the Hogans and stuff from back when I watched it, I'll keep an eye out for it. I try to keep an eye out for whatever chases there are at the time, because if I can find it, if I find a chase, I'm probably gonna pick that up and try to trade it for Joe's. Those lines do cross over quite a bit. So I did pick him up. This is awesome. I will be opening him and doing a video on him just as soon as I can. Like I said, I didn't even know this was out there. And there is a rock from Scorpion King. They had that one too, but I didn't pick that one up because that one doesn't really, that means nothing to me. This Piper, uh, I gotta have him. So he's there. So check your targets if those are something you're interested in. And I actually posted that in a group, and somebody was like, "Oh man," he's like, "I want that." So I wish you'd have seen this 15 minutes ago because they had two, and the other one is still there. I'm sure that looked weird. I thought I paused it already. I didn't. I'm using a laptop with very touchy buttons. So the last thing that I picked up at Target, oh yeah, the Rowdy Roddy Piper, he was on a peg that says he was 1943. And there's so many WWE and wrestling figures. There's like 8 different pegs for him, and I don't know what's what. Of course, they're all abbreviated on the tag. So I was thinking he's 1943, and I think the regular price on him's 22, whatever, 99.49, whatever it is. And he rang up at the regular price, and I mentioned that he was on a peg that was 1943, and like I don't know if I was like I don't know if it's the correct peg or not. I just That's where he was at. He might have been hung up on the wrong pegs, And the lady give it to me for 1943. It's $3, but hey, doesn't hurt to try. They should have hung him on the wrong damn or the right damn peg, right? So the the main pickup that I got from that Target today was something that I have been looking for. I've mentioned most of my areas that I can hit, usually Walmarts, and they're disappointing. I have very few Targets, which sucks because that's where we've been getting the majority of the actual clearance stuff. This was not on clearance. Piper was on sale. He wasn't on clearance, but I was willing to pay full price for him because that's a piece of my childhood. This, however, is not, but I've been looking everywhere for it when I go by a Target. I picked up the Turtles of Grayskull. I picked up the He Man, the most powerful mutant in the universe. Why did I pick this up? Look at it. It's awesome. Now, I like turtles. I like Motu. I don't actively collect either one. I'm gonna pick up the Motu figures that I like that I can find, but they're probably gonna have to be on clearance. The only one that I think I would probably pick up full price is Merman. If I find Merman, he was my favorite. But these guys, when they were announced, I don't know what it is about this figure. It's just the colors. And I'm going to open him and I'm going to do a review on him because I don't really have any modern, like this size of the He Man. And when I first saw this figure was when Punk with Toys does his weekly show and goes over the new toys. These were still kind of coming out and being announced, and everybody was like, "What? I don't know what to make about that. Like, what is that?" So to me, it's the colors. Like it's He Man, but it's it's just the colors for him. He's awesome. So I don't know. Motu and Turtles, I really wanted the Mouse Jaw, and I haven't bought it. It's 25 bucks. I'm kind of hoping I can catch Mouse Jaw on clearance. That's really the only other one of these that I really want that's out right now, but this was the main one. I was very surprised to find this on the peg. I don't know how these guys are case packed. See on the back who is in that wave, and they had the He-Man, Leonardo, and Man at Arms. The one that was missing was Donatello. So either somebody hid Donatello or somebody bought him. Either one is likely, but I don't know. The only thing I think's because it's Donatello's all purple. I don't know why somebody would have bought Donatello and not bought He-Man with those colors. That's maybe Donatello's their favorite turtle. Um, but I've been looking for that. The few times I've been in Target since these guys have come out, that is the main thing that I've been looking for, other than clearance Joe's and trying to hit the collector spot. But Target don't do clearances on the collector stuff that often. So that was my run. Not quite as much discount clearance stuff, but still some cool stuff. I'm gonna do a video on Piper and on He-Man, but I did think it when I was looking at the collector spot. I thought it was funny because they had the NECA, the John Nada from They Live. They had the NECA one, and I actually think this one looks better. It's not as detailed, but I think overall the figure on this one come out better than the NECA one. Now I'll get, if I can find it on clearance, I'll get the NECA one. I'm not gonna buy it full price. They don't, not that big a deal. But action figure size, put somewhere. So I go into the grocery store, and this has absolutely nothing to do with toys. So if you want to stop here, be my guest. But they're got, they got the little stuff set up in grocery stores, like the little sample stuff, and around the holidays they'll have try this, try that. Well, you know what's next, right? St. Patrick's Day. Well, you know what comes around St. Patrick's Day is Guinness. My grocery store will have Guinness reps there, and they were there today giving away free glasses. Get that in there. Got the harp on there, if you see that. Not only free glasses, they were engraving them for free. So I saw it from afar and I figured what it was. And like I don't even drink out of these kind of glasses. I drink out of plastic glasses. Um, Plastic glasses. That's what they are down here. I don't care if it's plastic; it's still a glass, and I fill it full of Coke that could be, you know, ginger ale. It's still a Coke if it come out of a can. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm not even gonna go near there. I don't need one of those glasses, but they caught me, and the two chicks that were doing it were pretty cute. So like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, we'll engrave it too if you want it. I'm like, oh, you engrave it? Like, well, what can you put on it? She's like, well, anything within reason. She's like, there's some stuff we're not gonna put on it, and I didn't even go there. But it's like, okay, so I had her engrave it with down south. 7-7 would not fit on the font, so I just had her put down south on it. I thought that was pretty sweet. So I don't know. I don't know that that has a place in here. Not a lot of glass in here because I move around way too much in here. So the last thing that I picked up that I may or may not put in the thumbnail, and you guys may or may not unsubscribe, they also had the chocolate dipped Peeps because it's Easter coming. Yeah, I've been looking for these too. That's also why I need a 2XL shirt. So I did pick up two of those, and they hit them. The case was off to the side. I had the Peeps, and then they had a case turned sideways and stuffed off to the side. And I was looking through them. I don't like the weird like tropical punch ones and stuff, but like I know they got the chocolate ones somewhere. They got to. I'm looking, and they're turned sideways, closed. They didn't even have any on the shelf. They weren't even open. the case was open, but they didn't have any out for display. So I just got it out, and I got a couple packs of those. There they are. Yeah, buddy. You're either pro Peeps or you're against me. Well, anyway, I'm not going to eat that whole thing on camera, don't worry. But I do need to get a drink. Wasn't expecting that. Sorry. It's been about 8 months since I finished my Peep supply from last Easter. So, in that chocolate biting into that, all of a sudden, I was like, I need to get a drink. So, sorry for that cut. I did finish it while I had the camera paused. So, this video really hadn't been about much other than go out and check for clearance because it's happening all over, and with everything tightening up, I don't know that we're going to see that toward the end of this year or into next year. So hunt and pick up all that you can while you can. Like I said, we'll be doing videos, so now I got to do Moss Man, He Man, Roddy Piper, and I don't know if I open the reactions, I'll do one on them, but I'm still kind of torn as to what I'll do. Now remember, if you're out and you don't see, or if you see clearance but you don't pick it up, you know what that is, right? Tell him, Vizzini. There he is. Inconceivable. What I want is I want to figure out a way to customize this into Doc Holiday. So I say, I have 2 cups. I got one for each of us. Yeah, I butchered that. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed hearing me ramble on here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I'll let you know whenever I do something silly like this or actually do a good video. So till next time, I will see you guys later. This is 3 Star Draw.